Shall we get started? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We can see you arriving. There's 500 of you now, and we're so excited to have you with us today. Welcome. I'm Laura Burris. I'm the chair of the Department of Biology, and today is a day like no other. So today we're gathered here from our living rooms, our kitchens, our bedrooms, our bathrooms, and even our garages. And so I am one of those people who are in the garage. Today we made a conscious choice to broadcast this ceremony live as we thought it would be much more personal. The risk of this is that we may encounter some technical difficulties in real time. As such, we request your beneficence and your patience in the event that technical issues do arise. Over the course of the ceremony, just to give you a little layout about some technical things, we will slowly be giving you all the ability to speak, allowing you to talk, but you will still be muted. At a particular time in the ceremony, we're going to ask that you unmute yourselves so that you can participate in the activity. Until that time, we'd ask that you not take the liberty of unmuting yourself because we want to keep the focus on the speakers. And if you would like to applaud, please use the reactions button on the menu bar at the bottom. For now, I think that the graduates and their families are not able to use the chat box, but it will be activated closer to the end of the ceremony. So we'll definitely make time for people to connect. We hope to avoid getting Zoom bombed on such a special day as this, but please know that we can't rule it out. And in an effort to keep this space safe for everybody, we will quickly remove anybody who is behaving inappropriately. So now that we got those logistics out of the way, let me be clear. When I started thinking about this ceremony back in January, never once did I anticipate having to give instructions about being muted and using the chat box. This was not on my radar, and I'm sure it wasn't on yours. Few of us could have imagined then all that was to ensue since. I would like to dedicate this ceremony to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Christian Cooper, Breonna Taylor, Atatiana Jefferson, and all of those who have either been threatened with violence or killed because of the color of their skin. While we are acutely mourning the loss of George Floyd, I would like to highlight the stories of others who are and were biologists at heart. Like many of you, Christian Cooper is an avid naturalist and birder. He was quite literally threatened for bird watching while being Black. Oh Lord, I knew this was going to happen. Like many of you, Breonna Taylor was a healthcare professional working as an emergency medical technician. And just like all of you today, Atatiana Jefferson had earned a degree in biology. She had a job selling pharmaceutical equipment and was preparing to apply to medical school. Breonna and Atatiana were killed for being at home while being Black. Please take 30 seconds of silence to remember these victims of racial violence. Thank you. So I want to acknowledge the gravity of our situation, and I want to say that I'm deeply grateful for the hope, the defiance, the resilience, and courage that you, the graduates of 2020, carry into this broken world. According to Maya Angelou, who happens to be one of my favorite poets, courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can practice any virtue erratically, but nothing consistently without courage. Before I pass the baton to Dean Carmen Domingo, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the students and staff who helped plan the ceremony. Without their help, there's no way I could have done this. We started planning for a face-to-face ceremony, it switched to a virtual ceremony, and it's just been a huge amount of work. I'd like to thank Colin Leisure, Andrea Morales, who's graduating today, Emily Samperio, and Ji Kwong. Thank you so much. This has been a real pleasure to work with all of you on this project. In addition to our amazing graduates, you all, I would like to recognize 3 faculty who, like you, just completed their last semester at San Francisco State. And while many of you may feel like it took you a lifetime to complete your studies here at San Francisco State, these 3 gentlemen really did spend a lifetime here. Tom Parker spent 40 years in the Department of Biology, 40 years, engaging students in the field of plant ecology. He's a world-renowned expert on manzanita trees. In fact, sometimes I like to call him Mr. Manzanita. He doesn't know that until now. Barry Rothman spent 34 years in the department and is best known by current generations of students for his role as a neuroscience instructor and as a pre-health advisor. Steve Weinstein spent 23 years in the department. In addition to teaching immunology, he worked with City College and Skyline students who were interested in careers in biomedical sciences, preparing them for the transition to 4-year universities. Please join me in giving a round of virtual applause for these 3 men who devoted their entire careers to San Francisco State biology students. Thank you. All right, so now it is my distinct pleasure to welcome Dean Carmen Domingo. Dean Domingo came to San Francisco State as a faculty member in biology 23 years ago. And in fact, she and I were hired at the same time. She served as a faculty member in biology for 20 years, running a myriad of student training programs designed to increase diversity in the sciences. For the last 3 years, she has been the Dean of the College of Science and Engineering. And for those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting her, I can tell you that you're in for a real treat. Please join me in virtually welcoming Dean Domingo.
Thank you so much, Laura, for those lovely words and for your poignant introduction and welcoming of everyone to this really amazing and unique and special day. So bienvenidos y buenas tardes, biology graduates, family and friends, faculty. Super excited to be able to congratulate our graduates of 2020. We're celebrating an important milestone in your lives. You've earned a biology degree from the College of Science and Engineering at San Francisco State. As Laura mentioned, before becoming dean, I was a professor in the Department of Biology, so I'm very aware of the hard work it takes to graduate with a degree in biology. You mastered courses not only in biology, but in math, chemistry, physics, as well as in the humanities. We're all incredibly proud of your achievements. Your graduation comes at a very challenging time. We have watched in the last few days the deep sadness and anger that has come with another unjust killing of a Black man, George Floyd, in the hands of a white police officer who was hired to protect us. This comes at the heel of a devastating pandemic that has disproportionately affected communities of color and the poor. These compounding events highlight the huge inequities that are built into our society and the inability of our political system to make real change. It's an imperative that those of us with white privilege, economic privilege, and educational privilege make our voices and actions heard. We have power and influence. Let's use it in constructive ways that can help us change the direction of our country. As graduates with a biology degree, you are now a member of the scientific community. As graduates from San Francisco State, you also graduated from a university that has social justice as a core value. This combination of science and social justice education gives you a unique set of tools to navigate your career path. Moreover, the diversity of the communities that you represent is an important asset to the scientific community that has taken too long to diversify. Although there will be disruptions in the labor market, as graduates from the College of Science and Engineering, you are uniquely prepared to face the challenges that lie ahead. You learned from excellent scholars and teachers who exposed you to cutting-edge ideas, taught you how to use specialized equipment, and importantly, to think critically. This last skill set is incredibly important. We are being bombarded by information, much of it through social media, and we need to use our critical thinking skills to navigate manipulative messages that are constructed to agitate and misinform. From the start of your education in the biology department, you were asked in introductory biology to think as a biologist, ask questions, identify confusions, use evidence. These goals were reinforced as you progressed through your major. They will continue to be invaluable to you. In addition, you had opportunities to conduct research, gain leadership experiences, participate in a range of independent projects, while learning to work collaboratively with students and faculty from all walks of life. Use these skill sets to navigate a successful career and help us build a better future for all of us. I wish you much success as you enter the next stage of your life. Follow your passions and stay true to your values. We will always be here to support and celebrate your continued achievements. Stay connected and help us continue to build a Gator community that can be an example of what real change looks like. Congratulations, felicidades to the class of 2020.
Wow. Thank you, Dean Domingo, for your words of hope and inspiration and for being with us today. We really appreciate you coming to be with us. I would now like to welcome our student speakers. And though I think the organizing committee really wished that we could hear all of your stories today, and there are many, that's simply not possible. So like you, each of these students has a deeply personal story to tell. I hope that their stories will resonate with you and move you. Our first speaker of today is Quentin McCahey. Quentin was born and raised in the Bay Area, where he enjoyed spending time outdoors, playing sports, and enjoying nature. Days spent at the Exploratorium and Monterey Bay Aquarium fostered his interest in science. Quentin entered San Francisco State as a transfer student and majored in general biology. He plans to pursue a career in physical therapy and one day hopes to own a physical therapy practice. Quentin, you're on. You might need to unmute yourself, Quentin.
Okay. Thank
There we
you,
go.
Dr. Burris, for your kind introduction. It is a privilege to be speaking with all of you at this ceremony to celebrate the class of 2020. I'm so proud to reach this milestone, and as a transfer student, I am moved to be a part of a community that sees my voice as representative. I would like to begin by clarifying that even though it's me wearing the cap and gown and my name written on the diploma, today is not just my day. To my mom and dad, thank you for giving me life and always putting my needs before yours. To my siblings, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, mentors, and close friends, thank you for being a positive presence in my life and always keeping me grounded. I know that I'm not alone in my gratitude for my family and that my fellow graduates also look to their own support systems with equal appreciation. So as I give thanks, I speak on both my behalf and that of my colleagues in the biology department. This speech is dedicated to all the people we call family who supported us the entire way through. This day belongs as much to them as it does to us. When I sat down to write this speech, I contemplated the experiences that we shared as students, like the unending struggle to find parking, and the late nights in the library cramming for exams. And who could forget all the time spent hanging out and sharing laughs at the Cesar Chavez Center? These commonalities aside, I couldn't shake the feeling that the members of the class of 2020 are not best represented by our shared experience. In fact, every person sitting in the audience, or in this case, sitting at a computer, is here on a unique journey. We all have a different story, and it is our differences that fostered our growth and make our school proud. During my time at SF State, I've grown to appreciate and embrace the wide diversity of our student body, a student body that beautifully reflects the diversity of our own Bay Area community and state of California. Looking back at all the individuals I've studied beside, I am grateful for how their perspectives help broaden my horizons and mold me into a more compassionate citizen and neighbor. With all of our differences, each of us still found our own place at SF State. Whether you were a single parent struggling with bills, a first-generation college student, a veteran coming back to school, or a transfer student trying to fit in. Whether you experienced racism or other forms of marginalization and still march forward, or whether you were born and raised in the Bay Area or came here from somewhere else, you found a home at SF State and you became a valuable part of our community. There's no reason to manufacture a shared experience among us, because the beautiful thing about us is that we celebrate our differences and that our unique experiences intersected as we pursued a bachelor's degree. We must also thank SF State's biology department. Just like we honor those that helped us establish our roots long before we got to SF State, we must also recognize our educators that watched over and encouraged us as we matured and spread our branches. Indeed, the beautiful flowers that we've become today are in full bloom because we were watered and folks, we would not be standing here today if not for the amazing faculty, administrators, and staff that nurtured our dreams and molded our potential into excellence. SF State's motto is Experientia Docet, Latin for experience teaches, and how true that motto is. The quality of our experienced faculty and administration flows through every class in our department from bottom to top. I remember observing this my first semester as a transfer student when taking Bio 230. For those of you who may not know, Bio 230 is a foundational class taught not by one instructor, but through collaboration of several renowned scholars. I remember attending lectures in Newth Hall with hundreds of students and being taken aback by a display of leadership, experience, teamwork, and effort, all coordinated towards student success. This approach to teaching not only benefited my learning, it also reflected a program geared toward academics, flexibility, collaboration, and student-centeredness. We were not just learning biology, we were becoming biologists. This course was just one of the many ways the Department of SF State offered us the rigorous, quality education that enables us to compete with a national class of STEM graduates. In closing, 2020 has been defined as a year of struggle. But I'm here to tell you that this struggle doesn't define us or our accomplishments. So, my fellow graduates, I take this virtual stage and share in our achievement with great joy and sincere enthusiasm. At the very least, today, this cohort of socially conscious adults equipped with quality scientific training and eager to take on our foremost challenges will disperse into the public. That makes today a damn good day. Even though we still face hardship as the world grapples with COVID-19 pandemic, and as Americans confront the chronic malady of racial violence and injustice endemic to our society, I urge my classmates, as I will, to spend the day celebrating the years of our work. Together, we have all accomplished greatness, and together, we are proud. These trying times will pass, but what we learned on our journey here at SF State will help guide us through the journey of life. Thank you, and go Gators!
Woo! Thank you, Quentin, for that amazing speech and for getting us started off on a strong note. Very much appreciated. Our next speaker is Marwa Helmand. Marwa is a first-generation Afghan-American college student. She's receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in physiology with minors in both holistic health and chemistry. She's moving forward on her path to becoming a physician. So Marwa, if you can unmute, and you will be ready to speak.
Salam alaikum, a greeting which means peace be with you in Arabic, and good afternoon, faculty, family, friends, guest, and graduating class of 2020. Let me start off by saying congratulations. I am so happy we could all share in celebrating this experience, even if it is virtually during these difficult times. I want to give a very, very special thanks to my family, friends, and to those supportive professors who were mentors and believed in us even when we didn't believe in ourselves. We have all overcome many struggles and obstacles, but today we are finally at the end of an important phase in our life. This long journey started with our first steps on the San Francisco State campus, the venerated home of intellectuals, activists, leaders, and trailblazers. This is a place where we spent more of our time than our own homes, with late nights in the library and early morning commutes and classes, where we each have been shaped by the people we've met, the wisdom and skills we've gained, and the brilliant minds we share this journey with. There is no doubt that San Francisco State University has changed the way we see the world. Now, I'd like to take a moment to share one of the biggest obstacles I faced during my academic career was witnessing oppression and domestic violence within my family. Despite my ambitious goals to graduate with a Bachelor's of Science degree in 4 years, my plans were placed on hold. At age 20, I made the decision to break the cycle of abuse as I felt compelled to work more and search for resources to help my family leave the domestic war zone. Not only was I a full-time student and employee, I spent over a year searching for resources from county to county till I finally found affordable housing in the Bay Area and got my family a safe home. I can never forget my day-to-day life during that painful time, waking up no later than 6 a.m., commuting 2 hours to San Francisco, getting out of having lectures and labs all day only to drive to work for the evening shift at urgent care. My fellow biology graduates and professors, you know it didn't end there. Last stop before home was a nearby cafe or library to do homework and study for those exams. Then, of course, repeating it all again the next day, not a single day off from working, studying, and being a caregiver. Still, I know that all the plans that fell through and changed were integral in shaping who I am today. And overcoming this adversity has been the single most defining part of my identity as an Afghan-American first-generation female college student. This experience has filled me with a deep sense of accomplishment and pride, and has taught me that resilience and faith is what will help all of us achieve all of the rest of our goals. I know that all of us have overcome our own variations of adversity, and we need to take a moment and commend ourselves for getting through our own obstacles, sacrifices, and tears we've shed to be here in this moment. Many of us have attended graduation ceremonies and celebration events of family and friends, and have longed for the day we could attend and celebrate our own. I attended the graduation ceremonies of my closest friends in 2018 and 19. Both years, I sat through the entire ceremony. A gesture of respect and pride, because I knew firsthand what the graduates had overcome to be there on that day. Every time I didn't do as well as I wanted on an exam or faced any sort of obstacle, I would summon the memory and joyful emotions of sitting in the bleachers at AT&T Park, overlooking the beautiful ocean and stadium as I proudly watched my friends graduate. Graduation ceremonies are to honor and applaud our perseverance and grit in the face of everything that life brings our way. Even though the class of 2020 had graduation ceremonies postponed due to the pandemic, no one can ever diminish the memories, experiences, friendships, and knowledge that we gained. I wish for all of us to hold vividly all the positive memories from our undergraduate experience. For me, this included enrolling in Biology 230, being a BioPal, learning about Eastern medicine in my holistic health minor, getting an award, and an amazing job even before graduating. I aim to use all that I've learned through this journey to advocate justice in my career in medicine and support women, children, and individuals of all disadvantaged backgrounds to achieve their personal and academic goals. Because success is defined by your ability to fall down and get back up. So fellow graduates, feel proud of your accomplishments. You got back up after all the falls and you made it. We will all rise from this stronger, more powerful, and better than we ever were. I hope that every one of you will hold on to memories of your successful journeys as you enter the world and workforce so you can inspire those who face adversity as well. Today, we are all braver, more resilient, and more united as a graduating class. If we could overcome all these challenges, we can face anything together. Congratulations, class of 2020. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marwa, for that deeply personal story of resilience. Yeah, and I had the privilege of knowing Marwa in Bio 230, so that was super fun to hear us return to that. Our last student speaker is Sydney Manuel. Sydney spent all of her 4 years here at San Francisco State, and she is a cell and molecular biology graduate who is on a path to pursue her career in cancer research in hopes of assisting the development of treatments that cater to individual patients' needs. So welcome, Sydney, and please unmute your mic now.
Good afternoon to my fellow graduates, and good afternoon to the staff, our parents, loved ones, and friends watching us from home. Wow, what a semester we have all been through. It's been a weird learning curve. It really has, and I'm sure all of us here can relate to
Sydney, we can't quite hear you. Can you get closer to your microphone?
that. Yes, sure. Can you hear me now?
Not quite. Let's see.
Now.
That's a little better. Okay.
I'll try to speak loud.
Oh, that's better.
In this year, 2020,
Oh, not so much anymore. Whatever you were doing for a second, you have to be super close, I think.
how about now?
You're really close to there. Try now.
Okay, good. Okay. In this year, 2020, we as a nation are facing uncertain and worrisome times. Uncertain about our health, worried about our financial status, and deeply worried about the safety of our loved ones. But we as Gators should not be laid down by these troubling times. Us Gators, for lack of a better word, are resilient and steadfast in the midst of adversities. And in a place as diverse as the Bay Area, we've all found a commonality to share, a common enemy, if I may say so. But hey, this enemy has brought us closer together to the people that mean most to us, our friends and our family. This enemy tried to trample on our education, tried to stumble on our work ethics, and tried to separate us from one another. But we did not come this far to stop at nothing. So nice try, COVID, because we're winning. We're winning because you did not stop us from holding our graduation ceremony. We're winning because you did not stop us from achieving our ambitions. And just like a gator, we continue to grow throughout our lives, to grow in knowledge and to grow in success. That is why here in San Francisco State University, we are the Gators. We chose to obtain our bachelor's or master's degree here because it's simply the place to be. San Francisco, the heart of diversity, opportunities, and not to mention the hard-working individuals that make up this beautiful city. Whether you will become a salesperson, an entrepreneur, a researcher, or a teacher, SFSU was the right choice to start. I remember feeling so small in orientation, but as the years went by in San Francisco State, which I must say went by quite fast, this place became indifferent to me.
Hey, Sydney, we're still having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a chance, do you have on a microphone and earbud and microphone, or what's your setup there? I'd like for everybody to be able to hear what you're saying.
I can just move closer. Is this okay?
I can't hear you.
No, I don't. How about now?
Okay, just keep talking and I'll tell you if that's better.
Okay.
Is there another computer on? I can hear like an echo.
Oh, there. It should be good now.
Oh, that's so much better. Talk just a little bit more.
Okay.
Just talk to make sure it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I think there's just feedback tonight. If there are other people with computers in the same room as you, have them mute their sound.
Okay. There's no other computer. I think it should be okay now.
And the other possibility is that since you're recording this, it may be eating up your bandwidth.
Oh, yeah. I can share the recording later, Sydney. If you want to stop your recording, maybe that's what's going on.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Let's try.
Is it fine now?
Not quite yet.
Okay. I've taken the recording.
So the other possibility is that we can play the recording of you.
Oh, okay. Is it fine?
Colin, do you have it?
No, I don't have those recordings.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Andrea or Emily does.
Andrea and Emily, does one of you have the capability of playing that?
We do, but I suggest we probably do it towards the end, so I have
Okay.
time to actually find it.
Okay, okay.
For an audio recording.
So we'll come back to it. As we promised, there might be some technical difficulties, and this is one of them, but we can come back to it. Maybe after Mike Goldman's talk, we'll try to come back to it. Does that
Yeah.
sound good? Okay, because I really want to make sure that everybody gets to hear what Sydney has to say.
Yes, it's really
So,
great. I hope it
Yeah, okay. So thanks for your patience on this. And
Sydney,
pardon me for looking the other way. I have two screens.
Sydney, it would be worth leaving the webinar and coming back to it to reset your connection.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to move forward for now, and we'll come back to Sydney in a little bit. So for years, you all have dreamed of walking across the stage with your family and loved ones cheering you on. And though we're not able to offer up a physical stage at this point in time, we are very pleased to offer up a virtual slideshow that showcases each of you. Just as if we were in person, your names will be read by biology faculty and staff. So let's begin.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Afla Abdul Fattah Alaudi. Ava Amirzada. Angel Isaac Hagi Abadi Avanesian. Amelia Caulfield. Adriana Nicole Gramejo Salis. Abigail Cortez. Tracy Michelle Crespo. Chinyere Ekpimero. Woohoo! Karen Eskender.
Woo, woo, woo! Woo! That's my girl right there. Woo!
Sulema Estrada. Dacia Flores Navarro.
Victor Galindo. Stephen Lomeli Gonzalez.
Steven.
Woo! Cecilia Romina Gutierrez.
Yeah!
Rosa J. Gutierrez.
Woo, Rosa!
Tori Holmes.
Tori! Tori!
No, that's my
Seated or unmuted?
Yevon Lee.
Okay.
Hannah Jessie Little.
Woo! Yeah.
I think I did it.
Tristan Markey.
Yeah.
Quentin McCahey. Antonia Mugihe. Dina Muga.
Woo! Go, Dina!
Shema Omar. Carlos Rodriguez Barbosa. Darnell Salcedo. Melissa Sanchez.
Good job!
Sarah Saylor. Michelle Min Min. Brandy Sinclair. Samantha Sokal. Anthony John Specchia.
Okay, all right.
Mariki Tillahoon. Alice.
Yeah, nigga, yeah, yeah, woo-hoo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Allison, we love you. Yeah, we love you. Say hi to him right now.
Ryan Joseph Akbay.
Woo! That's my boy. What's up?
Yeah, Brian.
Madison Page Billman. Rebecca Sophia Chong.
Yay, Becca! Go! Yay, Becca!
Yay!
Andrea Guevara Castro.
It's a picture. It's a picture.
Rojan Lack.
Rosen!
Woo! Roland.
Hey, Roshan.
Christy Truck Lee.
Go, Christy. Woo!
Let's go, Christy.
Jessica B. Magana.
Hey.
Thank you.
Sydney Manuel.
Let's go, Sydney!
Go, Sydney.
Let's go, Sydney!
Natalia!
Go, Natalia!
Natalia Mati.
Woo! Woo!
Tracy Mendez Altamirano.
Woohoo!
Idalia Miasnikov.
Congratulations!
Wilfredo Norato.
Woo!
Christopher Ramirez. Marta M. Ramon Guevara. Crystal Nicole Sosa. Bharat Swami.
Oh, that's our boy. Congratulations, Bharat.
Jessica Toledo.
Jessica Toledo!
Toledo!
Yay! Toledo! David.
Yay, David! David, woo!
Caitlin Bremner.
Woo, Caitlin!
Nice picture.
Ariel Griffith. Eli Slickton Williams.
Go Eli!
Eli! Woo! All right, ecology.
Surkana Al-Kafaji. Mario Avila. Natalie Flor Avila. Freedom Winston Eugene Evans. Tamika McWhorter.
Congratulations, Tamika. Woo!
Erin Elizabeth Sanchez.
Arnold Eckler. Joni Renee Borlongen.
Let's go, Jody!
Let's go, Jody!
Jan Mikhail Pahulo.
Let's go, Jan!
Go, Jan!
Congratulations!
Miriam Satina Antonio.
Let's go!
Sharon Deng. Christopher Nico Dunca.
Go, Chris!
Go, Chris.
Go, Chris!
Janelle Ann Ragudo Lee. Lorenzo Gastelamena.
Yeah!
Michelle Ann Pablo.
Go,
Go, Michelle! Go, Michelle!
Go, Michelle!
Belén Victoria Ramírez. Emily Lisbeth Sanchez.
Emily!
Nitika Crystal Singh. Rachel Marie Tom. Brittany Joy Wynn Travis.
Yeah! You're my best friend!
Amanda.
Yeah.
Go, Amanda.
Aaron E. Wong.
Yeah!
Yay!
Congratulations! Big job.
Dana Sydney Young.
Yes, Dana!
Woohoo!
Amethyst Zhang.
Amethyst!
Aisha Alhor. Christian Angeles.
Oh.
Aileen Aranda. Dana Elizabeth Ango. Julianne Arellano.
Go, Jules!
I wonder what she heard.
Mireya Yvette Areguin. Jomar Azarkon.
Go, Jomar!
Tiffany Marie Bagwell.
Yeah! Yeah!
Melissa Becerra Rodriguez. Lottie Bowman. Maureen Del Rosario Cara.
Let's go, Marine.
Yeah.
Let's go, Maureen.
Ashley Castellanos.
Record mo?
Elizabeth Castillo. Mario Ceja.
Woo! Congrats, Mario.
Mario, go Junior! Woo!
Go, Mario.
Congratulations!
Liliana A. Chavez Sosa. Wendy Chen.
Yeah, Wendy.
Diana Cruz Baron.
Hey, that's my boy. Got it. Yeah.
Let's go,
Hey, Drew. It's my boy. Ruby Alexandra Dickinson.
Yeah, Ruben.
Evelyn Yayaira Dominguez Dominguez.
Oh.
Congrats, Evelyn! Evelyn!
Jonathan Rafael Espino. Rosa Maria Estrada.
We did it, players. We did it. Yeah.
Clarissa Ferguson.
Woo, Clarissa. How's that feel? Oh.
Eleanor Colon Hernandez. Jessica Flores.
Woo!
Denise Nicole Fortune.
Woo! Denise.
All right. Way on that girl.
Faith.
Yeah, babe. We love you, babe.
Danielle Galindo. Haley Rebecca Garma.
Oh, they called Faith. Yeah.
Joel Herodias. Netzanet Getaun.
Yay, Ned. Go, girl. Woo.
Kennedy Hardemion.
Yay! Go Kennedy!
Kennedy. Go Kennedy.
Merwa Talia Helmond.
Congratulations.
Go, Merwa.
Adam Din Huang.
Good job, Adam.
Adam!
Abir Kodor. Kim Lee.
Go, Kimmy.
Daisy Suyan Lee.
Daisy!
Congrats, Daisy.
I mean, I rather it's like doing.
Cynthia Martinez. Syra Alison Mateo.
That's a
Karina Matute. Diana Candido Mendoza.
Go, Diana.
Go Diana!
Esenwanyi. Zachary Poten.
Stop that.
Angie Ramos.
Right around. I mean, it's helicopters and explosions and glass breaking on.
Angie!
Amy Rendon.
Woo! Yeah, that's my sister. Woo!
Stephanie Roberts.
Woo!
Stephanie. Stephanie.
Yeah! Woo!
Celeste Sade.
Yeah, go Celeste.
Go Celeste.
Jasmine Sayette.
Woo, go
Go Yasmin.
Yasmin.
Go Yasmin.
Martha, Alicia, Sebastian Raimundo.
Let's go, Martha.
Go, Martha.
Sukman, Sidhu.
Let's do it. Woohoo!
Clinton Slythe. Solis.
Yes, girl!
Yay! Woo!
No.
Yeah! That's it.
Oh.
I literally.
Patricia Nicole Tinio.
Yay! Go!
Let's go, Camille.
Nubas
Camille.
Torres.
Okay, that's it. Wow, okay. That's all I was there for.
Virginia Vasquez Titla.
Woo! Go Vicky.
Monica Borabuth.
Woo! Go Monica! Woo!
Carly Williams.
Let's go, Carly.
Ready?
Jenny Alexandra Wilson.
Oh, Janae!
Marion Wood.
Woo! Go, Marion!
Annie Wu.
Annie.
Yeah, I just texted her. My mouth is red.
Stella Wu.
Right here.
Tama.
Hema Yangden.
Woo!
Están enfadados de tanto marisco ahorita. Ay, Dios, de puro marisco.
Cassidy
Yo les digo-
Yep. Sarah Yanis.
Lioness.
Go, best friend!
Gabriela Zarate.
That's my best friend.
Yeah!
Right there.
Anna!
Now it's my turn to read the names.
Brianna Avila.
Yay! Go, Bree! Go, Bree!
Go Bree.
My girl!
Brianna.
Congratulations!
Aguilar. Melanie Giselle Stevens.
Miguel Anthony Cruz.
Woo! Miguel, let's go, baby!
Samantha Diaz.
Latino power, baby!
Chloe Hennigan.
Chloe! Go, Chloe!
Riley Cecilia Jones.
Woo! Go, Riley! Yay, Riley!
Daniela Seibel Sanchez. Christina Sosnovsky.
Yay, Christina! Woohoo! Yay! Woo! Woo!
Yes.
Kobe! Look at Tracy, how cute, everybody.
Congratulations, biology major Kobe.
Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Yeah!
2020.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
2020.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Winston.
Congratulations, Precious.
You guys are awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Precious.
BS Biology, all about life.
My friends.
Jessica.
Bravo!
Jessica!
Go,
Llamamos. Bravo, bravo.
El Angel Ayala.
Go, Angel.
Go, Angel.
Wesley.
Wesley!
I don't know if I can hear it.
Gabriel Kleiner.
Yay!
Alyssa. Lauren.
Yeah,
Alyssa! Yeah, Alyssa! Yay, Adrian! Yay!
Bravo, bravo.
Adrian!
Alma.
Let's
I don't know if you can hear it.
Carla.
Go, Carla!
Carla, yeah, Carla Medina. Woo! Oh!
Andrea Morales.
¡Felicidades, hija!
Felicidades, Andy. Bravo, 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 bravo.
¡Cynthia!
Wayne Swinson.
Go, Wayne.
Let's go, Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne! Pauline! Angeline! Jesus! And Johnny!
Sebastian Bennett Ayugari.
Go see him.
Cecilia Hernandez.
Go, Cecilia.
Dominic Bantu.
Go Dom.
Yeah, go Tona. Yeah, woo.
Garcia Ruiz.
Go Tona too. Yeah, woo.
Mercy Nadari.
Hey, Masi. Lisa. Woo! Congrats. Hey, Joseph. Yay, Roxanne. Hey, Marco.
Leonardo. Congratulations. Salvano Gonzalez. Congratulations.
Yay, Silvano! That's my God!
Nicole Alexandria Lopez. Congratulations.
Yay, Nico!
Wesley Sun.
Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you, graduates. I'm so pleased to see all these slides go by. It almost feels as good as being in person. Not quite, but it's really lovely, and to see all of your beautiful shining faces. I want to touch base now and see if we can get Sydney's speech up and going. So Sydney, why don't you try to unmute and we'll see if we have better connectivity this time. And if we don't, then we will play your audio recording.
Okay, could you guys hear me better this time?
Oh, so much better.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go a second time around.
Thank you for your patience.
Okay. Good afternoon to my fellow graduates, and good afternoon to the lovely staff, our parents, loved ones, and friends watching us from home. Wow, what a semester we have all been through. It's been a weird learning curve, it really has, and I'm sure we can all relate to that. In this year, 2020, we as a nation are facing uncertain and worrisome times. Uncertain about our health, worried about our financial status, and deeply worried about the safety of our loved ones. But we as Gators should not be weighed down by these troubling times. Us Gators, for lack of a better word, are resilient and steadfast in the face and midst of adversities. And in a place as diverse as the Bay Area, we've all found a commonality to share. A common enemy, if I must say. But hey, this enemy has brought us closer together to the people that mean the most to us, our friends and our families. This enemy tried to trample on our education, tried to stomp on our work ethic, and tried to separate us from one another. But we did not come this far to stop at nothing. So nice try, COVID, because we're winning. We're winning because you did not stop us from holding our graduation ceremony, and you did not stop us from achieving our many ambitions. And just like a gator, we continue to grow throughout our lives, to grow in knowledge and to grow in success. That's why here in San Francisco State University, we are the Gators. We chose to obtain our degree here, whether it be a bachelor or a master's degree, because it's simply the place to be. San Francisco, the heart of diversity, opportunities, and not to mention the beautiful, hardworking individuals that make up the city. Whether you plan to pursue your career in being a salesperson, an entrepreneur, a researcher, an engineer, or a teacher, San Francisco State University was the right choice to make. I remember feeling so small in orientation, but as the years progressed and went by in SFSU, which I'll tell you, it went by pretty fast, this place became very indifferent to me. And I'm sure all of you can relate. OChem and biochem kicked our butts this semester, but it's the passion that drove each and every one of us. In fact, the most passionate people, they feel the pain of failure the most. They feel the pain of failure because we cared more than the next guy. And because we cared more than the next guy, that's what separates those who get up from their failures and succeed to those who couldn't stop feeling sorry for themselves. That's why every time you thought of failing and every time your back was against the wall, you kept pushing through and you kept on going. All of us sitting here today in your respective homes have worked so hard for so long. You've done your best, and this time, your best was enough. The nights that you chose to study over sleep, the days you chose to sacrifice family time just to pass an ASVAB bio exam, the moments you chose to overcome that mental breakdown, you chose this diploma. And guess what? You earned it. So take it and take it proudly. Use it to your advantage and be proud of the milestones that you have done and all the efforts that you put into this diploma. Being a part of the biology department here in San Francisco State means we will manifest and all be a part of the growing medical and scientific innovations that will further enhance the lives of the next generation and our current era. And with that said, I wish all of you the best postgraduate life. And wherever life's endeavors and hardships may find us, our education can take us further. Congrats and good job to the class of 2020. It's our turn to build our legacies. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sydney.
Yay. Thank you, Sydney. That was definitely worth waiting for. I appreciate you getting through it. It's hard enough to get through one of these talks once, but you had to do it twice, so thank you. I know that we've been sitting for a while, and I have just two more speakers, Dr. Mike Goldman and myself, and then we'll have a chance to kind of chat with each other. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Goldman. He serves as the chair of the Department of Biology for 12 years. And recently he served on a panel for our Science Up About COVID-19 webinar. The students loved his comments so much that they invited him back to say a few words now. So please join me in giving Dr. Goldman a warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. And to the class of 2020, congratulations on your graduation from SF State. We are so proud of your accomplishments, and we're really looking forward to hearing about the many successes you will have in your future. And thank you for giving me a chance to say a few words about this very strange time in which we celebrate. Let's be clear, COVID-19 is a big deal. It's a once-in-a-century pandemic sweeping the whole world, and is one for which even our wealthiest nations have found themselves painfully unprepared. It is costing precious lives, well over 100,000 in the US already, and it is blistering the world economy. It will rewrite history. It's underlining the in American society, hitting African Americans the hardest, even as we face the implications of the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. It's reminding us that the old neglect, panic, repeat cycle of public health, and pretty much public anything, including your education, just isn't going to do anymore. Well, the immediate problems might linger for some time. I want to look further out, perhaps 3 to 5 years from now. For the class of 2020, 80% or more of your life will be in the post-COVID era. My contention is that your lives will be far better for having gone through this cataclysm. But it depends on our learning the lessons of this pandemic and seeing to it that they are not forgotten. As biology students, biologists now, you have a special obligation and an absolutely incredible opportunity. As a direct result of this pandemic, we will never again be able to elect a president with a 4th grade vocabulary and a self-centered, xenophobic view of the world. We now, more than ever in my lifetime, realize that the first role of government is to protect the people, and will want the smartest leaders, the most principled leaders, with the most global and long vision, not the guy who graduates at the bottom of the business school class and recommends drinking bleach. We can't pull out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement just when we need them most. We won't tolerate this failure of insight, preparedness, and leadership ever again. We will engage more effectively with the most significant problems of our day, such as climate change. We know that the contraction of habitats and the inappropriate juxtaposition of the natural and the anthropic worlds, where humans encroach upon and trade in wildlife, is where viruses like SARS-CoV-2 leap from their natural host species to humans. At the present rates of intrusion and climate change, this previously rare event will occur ever more frequently, just as we have seen an exaggeration of extremes of weather conditions. We must insist that our leaders deal with issues like climate change. We have to understand that when any part of the world is sick, we are too. What I like to refer to as the One Health, one world ideal. Post-COVID, we'll see a new biological normal with COVID-19, the disease, endemic in our population, a truce as we've made with many pathogens in the past, some of which are now an integral and useful part of the human genome. Hopefully, we'll soon have vaccines, medicines, and enough respirators to go around. But I suspect this won't be over quickly, even if we're nearing the end of shelter in place. It could be with us for months to come. It won't be a passing effect, but a memorable and influential trauma. The essential force for all of these occasions will be education, with a particular emphasis on science education and critical thinking. The biological sciences will see a surge in interest, and funding education and making it affordable and realistic will once again become a national priority. This is another Sputnik moment. Among a few other predictions, first, I hope that universal single-payer healthcare will become a reality. The health system will no longer be one of the world's most expensive and least effective. Universal healthcare and insurance will ensure both quality and equity, will recognize and encourage healthcare innovation, both corporate and public. We will invest heavily in public health, which has been cut by about 25% just since the 2008 recession. We'll strengthen agencies like the World Health Organization, realizing the global health imperative. Second, science will get better funding and scientists will command more respect. I wager that we will see enhanced funding of science in general and biology in particular as we recover. From today's heroes like Tony Fauci, we will have learned that science must lead us out of our most difficult challenges, and we will admit that we don't know where that next challenge will come from. Third, there will be and should be more physicians, scientists, and other well-educated folks going into politics, and I hope some of you will do that. Fourth, more education will take place online. Our staff, faculty, and administration work together to put our entire undergraduate and graduate curriculum online in 4 days. Who would have thought that possible? I can imagine that some of our education will from now on be delivered remotely. The result, less traffic, less pollution, less commute time, fewer parking hassles, but it will also give some students who previously could not attend a class because of work or family obligations to take part effectively. It will broaden the reach of education. We'll improve routine sanitation in businesses, schools, colleges, shops, restaurants, and other public places. A new kind of paranoia about germs might set in, making more of us channel Adrian Monk. Plans are already underway on our own campus to effect needed changes in maintenance and sanitation. Don't be shocked when you come back and visit and we have clean rooms, circulating air, even in Hensel Hall. And we'll pay our essential workers the living wage they so richly deserve. That's embracing social justice. Healthcare providers might be more isolated from their patients in the future. Personal protective equipment will become ubiquitous. Telemedicine, once thought to be almost as impossible as the electronic health record, is already expanding and will provide increased ease of access, affordability, and convenience of care, not to mention an escape from parking at UCSF. Pandemic preparedness will improve dramatically. The undercurrent of health monitoring will enter the 21st century. Teams and laboratories will stand ready to invent and manufacture testing equipment, vaccines, and medicines in response to sudden waves of illness. We'll see more stockpiling of the goods needed during an epidemic, such as masks, soaps, paper goods, toilet paper, and disinfectants. We'll yield some of our privacy for monitoring of our movements and health status to reduce disease transmission using drones, artificial intelligence, and direct remote monitoring of physiological parameters. The next pandemic will not catch us unaware, unprepared, confused, and incompetent. All this starts with you, the class of 2020. You as the next generation of scientists, educators, healthcare providers, leaders, elected officials, and informed citizens will be at the forefront of change. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it beams one health, one world post-COVID. We put our trust in you. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Thank you.
Whoa, thank you, Mike. Those are inspirational and visionary words. And yes, we do put our trust in you, class of 2020. Thank you. So today, I think you've heard about this a bit now, but we find ourselves battling a pandemic. At the same time, climate change and pent-up hurt and rage are burning our houses to the ground. We're at the precipice of an economic freefall. Jeff Bezos is on the brink of becoming the first American trillionaire, while 1 in 4 American workers have applied for unemployment. Our democracy is broken, and we are plagued by deep structural inequalities. 27 million Americans have lost their employer-sponsored health care. Families are being separated by government at the borders. Black men and women are being murdered because of the color of their skin. This year, I think it's safe to say, is an everything at once kind of a year. So was 1968. Most of y'all don't remember 1968, but I do. Robert Kennedy was slain in Los Angeles. An unpopular war was raging in Vietnam, and the Democratic National Convention was marked by violence and chaos. Martin Luther King was assassinated by James Earl Ray. It felt like things were falling apart and that the center could not hold. In 1968, I was a young kid growing up in East Tennessee, not too far from where James Earl Ray would be imprisoned the following year. Although my family didn't have a ton of money for non-essential items, some of my most poignant memories center around the 6 albums that were kept in a record cabinet in the living room. One of these was the White Album, which is widely considered to be the Beatles' reaction to the turbulent times. Blackbird was, and still is, my most beloved song on the White Album. Some of you may know that song, some of you may not. You'll hear it in a minute. But for me, that song was about being truly free, which as a closeted gay kid growing up in the South, felt utterly unattainable. Though I did not know it at the time, I now understand that the song was inspired by the Little Rock Nine, a group of African-American teens who fought to enroll in an all-white public high school in Arkansas. The courage of the Little Rock Nine was both inspirational and transformational. They were created by and for that moment. They paved the way for all of you to be graduating today. Over the past few years, I have witnessed your courage. I have seen you struggle, persevere, grow, and discover your passions. I have watched you rise up. You give me great hope. This hope is a gift. Thank you. I light this candle as a symbol of the hope that you have shared with me. And invite other panelists to do the same. Just like the light of this candle, one of the extraordinary qualities of hope is that it can be shared. Blackbird is my gift to share with you. Although I draw on the rhythms and the sounds of my childhood and my culture, I hope that it will evoke the rhythms and sounds of your life. As graduates of the class of 2020, you know all too well how it feels to be broken. I would like to ask that you take a moment to imagine what it feels like to fly. Now, imagine what it feels like to soar. Okay, so this is going to take all of my courage. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Okay, faculty and staff, join me now. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Okay, now everyone, you're still here. I need you to unmute and sing with all of us. We should hear at least 400 voices still going. Unmute your... This is why we had you unmuted. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Only waiting
For this moment to arise.
Ooh, thank you, thank you. It's a little laggy, but I think it worked. So now I'm going to ask everybody to mute again. So go ahead and mute, and then I'm going to say just a few more words, okay? Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Some of you have lost loved ones to COVID-19, to cancer, and to heart disease. 2 of you lost uncles to COVID-19. 1 of you lost not 1, but 2 siblings to COVID-19. Let's all take a moment to remember loved ones who have passed away. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. A number of you have experienced homelessness and food insecurity while pursuing your studies. Your degree that you are receiving today provides you with a path to economic security. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Many of you have been accepted into doctoral programs where you will develop into leaders in your communities. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. 1 of you is an EMT who has risked exposure to COVID-19 while working to finish this final semester strong. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. 1 of you is going on to become a rheumatologist so that you can develop better treatments for the chronic pain you have endured throughout your undergraduate years. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Many of you have freed others by teaching and mentoring them. According to author Toni Morrison, the function of freedom is to free someone else. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Some of you have parents who had to school you on how not to get shot if you got pulled over. Even with that knowledge, you live in fear that you will be hurt or killed just because of the color of your skin. Some of you are undocumented and not eligible for DACA, making it difficult to find a job. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. 1 of you has excelled while living with the debilitating effects of myasthenia gravis. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. 1 of you, by graduating today, is lifting up your 7 children. Another is showing the way for your 4 children. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. 1 of you finished strong even though your construction job had increased demands. You're also engaged to be married in the next month. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. 1 of you is an older student who grew up in northern Mexico, not far from where my mother grew up. Today represents the culmination of a lifelong dream. By achieving your dream, you are changing the face of science to more closely reflect the demographics of your community. Into the light of the dark black night. Your hard work over the last 4, 6, 8, or even 10 years has prepared you for this moment. It has prepared you to fly. You have learned how to ask questions. Remember UABC it in Bio 230? Ask questions. And not just any questions like, hey, how you doing today? But the really, really hard questions. Like, why are Native American, Latinx, and Black people disproportionately affected by coronavirus? How can we eliminate deep structural inequalities to ensure that everyone has access to the American dream? How can we move past climate change denial to climate change action? You have learned to be skeptical. And right now there is so very much to be skeptical about. Be skeptical of cures that have not been subjected to the rigor of scientific testing. And be very skeptical when someone suggests that injecting bleach might be a good way to treat coronavirus. You have learned how to use evidence and to make evidence-based decisions. Scientific evidence tells us that coronavirus and climate change are inconvenient but very real truths. We have sheltered in place to save lives. Now it is time to take action to protect our planet. By heeding the evidence, we have saved lives. And your education here at San Francisco State has given you the wings to fly. Like blackbird murmurations, which are wild swirls of thousands of birds moving in unison, we are a community of friends, fellow scientists, and mentors that will be with you for the rest of your life. This community has sustained you in this time of need. Now is the time for all of us to band together and give back to our communities. Now more than ever, we need scientists and science educators. We need you. We need you to help us ensure the health and well-being of all living creatures on this planet. As James Baldwin aptly wrote, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing will be changed until it is faced. Graduates of 2020, now is the time to face the challenges. Just like the Little Rock Nine, you have been created by and for this moment. This is your moment. Spread your wings and fly. At the end of face-to-face ceremonies, it is customary for graduates to move the tassels on their mortarboards from the right to the left. So graduates, I now ask that you take your tassel, whether it be physical or virtual, and move it from the right to the left of your mortarboard. Congratulations to all. We are so proud of you, and we love you. And now I want you all to unmute yourselves. Everybody unmute, and we need to have a 10-second graduation howl. It should get so loud in here. Cheers.
Hey, Carla!
2020!
Okay.
Good job, y'all!
I still hope we do this in
We're
person.
gonna take a chance.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Precious!
5 seconds is not enough. Okay, so now,
Let's go,
Colin, can you
Quentin.
bring up the next slide?
Ow.
You can blink twice.
So, after an
Then the
in-person
promoter.
ceremony,
Let's love.
after an in-person ceremony, it is traditional for graduates and their loved ones and friends to mingle with faculty and staff and have your pictures taken and introduce each other. We can't do that in person at this time, so now the chat box has been open all along, but we're going to try to get people to connect a little bit more. And we want to structure it so everyone gets a chance to chat. So please bear with us and wait until it's your turn. But the first people that I'd like to have chat are the families, loved ones, faculty, staff, friends. Please take a few minutes to write a message for the graduates into the chat box. And the graduates, don't write anything. Just sit there and soak it up, okay? Tell them. So our prompt is to tell them why you're proud of them and how they give you hope.
Fire here.
Oh, yeah. From Nino and Nina, we love you.
Okay. So people can keep chatting, but I want to move to a new prompt to give the graduates a time to say something. And graduates, this is your time to let your families, loved ones, friends, faculty, and staff know what you appreciate about them and why you're grateful to them. So graduates, go. And so at long last, graduates, this is your time to connect with each other. These are your friends, your peers. They will be your colleagues for the rest of your life. Cultivate those relationships and keep them going. So now you can say whatever you'd like to say to each other. So I want to start to bring this to a close because you guys we've gone a little bit over time and I'm sorry for that. But thank you all so much for coming out to share in the celebration today. It just wouldn't have felt right not to have some way of celebrating your great accomplishments. We'll make a recording of the ceremony available on the biology website. I want to remind you that once you're a biology student, you're always in the biology family. We are here for you. Always and forever. Please visit us, email us, and stay connected with us via the departmental Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter sites. Our handle is @sfstatebio. And graduates, please know that even though this ceremony was great, you're still invited to our next in-person recognition ceremony. So instead of saying goodbye, let's just leave it at, see you later. Thank you again. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, everyone.
Have a great summer.
Great job, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, Induska.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank
Congratulations,
you.
everybody.
Salamat.
Have a great summer.
Congratulations, Sai.
Thank you.